Hello everyone, welcome to this week's webinar from Anicca Digital. My name is Darren Wynn. I'm going to be on hosting duties this morning. This week we've got two amazing presentations for you. First, we've got Emma Bagley, CEO of ZEAL Agency. Emma, do you want to give a quick intro?
Yeah, morning everyone. So I'm Emma Bagley. I'm founder and CEO of ZEAL Agency, not to be confused with ZEAL as a company. So it's ZEAL Agency, and we're a specialist Amazon marketing and management company. And we support brands really super scale their Amazon operations, sales, profitability across the UK, US, and Europe.
Brilliant. Thank you, Emma. And secondly, we've got Rachel Cryan, strategist at our own digital, Anicca Digital. So do you want to say hello and introduce yourself, Rachel?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel. You may have seen me on previous webinars. So I'm going to be going through TikTok today, and it's essentially everything that I've learned throughout scaling our clients and what I would recommend if you were starting from scratch today.
Brilliant. Thank you both. Right, let's get started with presentations. I think you're up first, Emma. I will be in the chat. So there's two sections for any questions that you might have. You can either ask in the main chat where you've been saying hello, or you can go to the Q&A section. I'll monitor both. I'm probably going to collect those questions as we go through, and then we'll have a chance to sort of ask some at the end. So that'll be the way we'll work this, I think. Right, over to you, Emma.
Thank you, Darren. Okay, so those of you who may have met me at Epic, I am doing a slightly different presentation, simply because I wasn't sure on the audience and the level of experience of Amazon. So I have changed it so that it will appeal to hopefully everybody in the room, and lots of opportunities at the end to ask any questions if I've covered anything that has really provoked a question or a concern or a comment on. So as I mentioned, I am CEO and founder of ZEAL Agency, and we're a specialist Amazon company. So that isn't just advertising. We are a full service consultancy where we look after clients' whole operations on Amazon. So that's everything from branding, design, search engine optimization, advertising, operations, profitability analysis, the whole works, the full holistic brand management on Amazon. So just a quick promotional slide of the ZEAL Agency. So founder-led, world-class team, and we've worked across, as a team, we've worked across hundreds of brands, managed millions in ad spend. We have zero interest in being a typical agency, very consultancy focused, and will always be founder-led, strategic, lean, dynamic, and responsive. So today I'm going to kind of go a bit back to basics, and I'm going to look at this screen over here where my main presentation is. So I want you to think of yourself as a shopper and why you might go on to Amazon, because it's really important that we look at everything from a shopper's perspective rather than a brand product perspective. And we're in a marketplace, so very much different to our own D2C site. We are one click away from all of our competition. We're shoulder to shoulder with them on the search results page. So it's great for shoppers because we can have all of that choice, all of that knowledge about these products, but not necessarily as good for brands who are competing now with so many other product offerings and choice for customers. So unlike your own D2C site, the shopper has decided to go to your website and will be choosing between your own products. Here on Amazon, because shoppers might be choosing between your own product range or all of your competition. So let's go back to basics and think, right, from a shopper, what we're looking for, we want to search. We might search, for example, gift hamper. We click on ones that we're interested, and then we buy. Simple basics, okay? So as a brand, in order to make that sale happen, we've got to be found, we've got to be clicked on, and we've got to get sales. So simple stuff, not so simple in reality. Okay, so really in this presentation, I'm going to break down the fundamentals of how you get those sales, how you get the clicks and how you get the sales. And it really isn't just a case, and I really do want to emphasize this, and we can talk about this more later, But I really want to emphasize that you have to treat Amazon as a completely separate business, and you need dedicated marketing strategy, and you need to have a completely different mindset to if you're just selling on TikTok Shop, but also on your own D2C website. And the brands that succeed are those that really do take Amazon seriously as a sales channel with its own dedicated resources, expertise, and marketing strategy. Okay, so that three-step process, then we've got to be found. Unfortunately, Amazon is a pay-to-play platform. What I mean by that is the best way of being found. And so if a shopper types in the keyword gift hamper, you show up in that what we call search results page. And the two main ways to be found is obviously paid advertising, pay-per-click, or SEO, or just having like a fantastic offer. PPC is what is going to get you found because you're paying to be in the relevant places on Amazon. So I'm going to break this down step by step, but get found, PPC, and your SEO, two main ways. Then you've obviously got to get clicks. You've got to be chosen. You've got to persuade shoppers to click on your listing and read more about your product range. So that's battleground number one, search results page. You type in gift hamper and you are flooded with offerings from a shopper perspective. So we've got to entice, persuade, get people to click on your product to learn more about your product and your brand. So it's really important that you focus on that main hero image because if you don't, you're not going to get that click. And I want you to think, and we will talk about this in this presentation, I want you to think that main hero image isn't just a nice pretty picture on a white background. There's a lot of science behind making sure that that main hero image gets the click. Okay, so get clicks, stage 2, making sure that your main hero image is CTR optimized, click-through rate optimized. But obviously, we do know that shoppers, when they're scanning that search results page, they're also looking at, your price, and they're looking at how many reviews you've got and what your product rating is. So much like subconscious analysis is being done by the shopper before they've even clicked on your product page. Okay, so that's stage 2, get clicks. Stage 3, I'm going to focus quite a lot of this about this on this presentation. You've got to get the sales. So you've probably paid through PPC to be clicked and then got clicks. So you paid to be clicked on. And now you want to make sure that people buy your product and they don't hop next door to your closest competitor. So this is your opportunity to sell your product and sell your brand. And this is really where the beauty of marketing and advertising comes in. And it's all about conversion rate optimization. How do we promote our product and our brand in the best possible way to influence, persuade customers to buy now? Okay, and that is absolute key of this presentation today. Most brands, especially new to Amazon brands, will just focus on copying their imagery and their text from their website and investing in some ads, and then just get really frustrated that it just isn't working. They can see that their competitors are absolutely acing it on Amazon and they're just confused. So really, hopefully this presentation will be spark some conversations, at least in-house. Okay, so step 1 is obviously advertising. I'm not going to go into advertising strategy here because that would take weeks to do. But essentially, there's different ways to show up on Amazon. So you, in the search results page, when a shopper might type in gift hamper, so you want to be seen top of search, really. And most people buy within the first row on Amazon. So you've got some opportunities on that search results page to show up. Okay, so that's one way. You might be seen at the top when you've got that beautiful sponsored brand banner at the top. That can be video or can be creative, or you might just be a sponsored on search on the actual rows of the search results page. And there's different places as well to advertise on Amazon. There's like your competitor product detail pages, your own product detail pages to cross-sell your product range and to defend that page. And then there's some display opportunities as well. So as a general rule of thumb, sponsored products is where you want to put most of your budget, because that's really where you're going to get your conversions and your sales. Okay, so I would always recommend 75–80% of your budget should be spent on sponsored product campaigns, and then some percentage given to sponsored brands, like maybe like 15 to 20%. Sponsored brands is really where the big banners are. So the top of the search results page or the middle of the search results page, and video is a great strategy for sponsored brand campaign because it captures the interest. So sponsored brands is really good for brand awareness, dominating that search results page and getting sales and sending consumers to your storefront. Sponsored display is important. I would say 10–15%. I know all of those maths do not add up to 100, but that's the kind of ratios you're talking about. So sponsored display can appear on lots of different places, from search results page to product detail pages, and it's a display ad, so it would have a creative attached to it, whether it's a video or whether it's static creative. And you can segment by targeting categories, targeting competitors, targeting specific audience and interest. You can also do retargeting campaigns as well. So those that have viewed your product listing, or those of your competitors, or those that have purchased from you before. And now you've got sponsored TV, which I'm not going to talk about in this presentation, because the focus should be, looking at the audience today, should be really on sponsored products. So get found. Metrics to track, really important if we've got any marketing managers, directors here in the room. There's lots of metrics to track, and it really does depend on your goal. So if you are launching on Amazon, you're not really going to be looking at ROAS. That's not an important metric to look at all, because on Amazon, you want to be working with the algorithm to get your products ranked on keywords, ranked within the category. So ROAS is not a campaign metric you should be monitoring at all. You have got to break into a super competitive marketplace. So you would be looking at metrics such as your growth. So looking at sales growth, or looking at how you're ranking on certain keywords or within the category are performing. Okay, those metrics would be different when you're at the growth stage on Amazon. So you now might start to look at how well your ads are performing, how your ads are supporting your overall sales, not just your advertising sales. And that's where the term TACOs comes in. So at the growth and maturity stage, TACOs is the most important metric probably. TACOs way of calculating that is looking at how much you're spending on ads and how much total sales you are generating as a business. So not looking at ROAS or your ACOS, looking at how your advertising is performing. And the reason this is so different to other, like Google ads, is because the goal of your ads is not just to get sales on your ads, it's to grow your whole business. Because the way the Amazon algorithm works, the more you spend on ads and the higher your sales velocity is, it's training Amazon's algorithm to show your product to more people, and therefore that should improve your organic ranking and your overall sales. So for example, going back to gift hamper, if you want to really rank for that strategic key term, you've got to invest in advertising, get your product seen, get your product chosen, and then it's proving to Amazon that you're relevant for that keyword, and so naturally your organic rank will improve as well, and your overall sales. We can talk about this more in the Q&A if needed. But it's really important to remember that depending on your goals will dictate what metrics you should be focusing on. Okay, SEO, I'm not going to give you a lesson in terms of search engine optimization, but the basics are you've got to have the right keywords in your listing, but SEO is just foundational now. It's, it's just the basics. You have to have good SEO in your front end and your back end. But even if you had that strategic keyword such as gift hamper 60 million times on that listing, it doesn't matter, because Amazon's algorithm is looking at, did a shopper type in the keyword gift hamper? Did they go to your product detail page and did they buy? So it's all about relevance, okay? And really, the main way of doing that is through PPC, unfortunately. So, but your SEO has to be in place, because your PPC works more effectively if the right keywords are on your listing in the first place. Those brands that just focus on SEO, you just will be invisible. And that's, sorry, a hard message to share with you guys, but it is true, okay? Really importantly now is that obviously the growth of AI, and I'm going to give you a very basic lesson on this to do with Rufus. Have we ever used Rufus, which is essentially it's like a AI tool bot on your Amazon mobile. Amazon Rufus is powered by AI, and it's so super clever. It is scraping your product detail pages for information. Okay, so in here I was looking for a guitar amp into Rufus chat, and it asked me some different questions, and I could click on those questions, and then it would make recommendations based on how I'm searching. Okay, so Rufus Power is looking at your images, looking at the text on your images, looking at the text on the bullet points, for example, as well, looking at your reviews, looking at what questions shoppers are asking for. So it's using all of this information to be able to really pinpoint what is the right product at the right price for the shopper. So Amazon is trying to obviously be as helpful as possible, because they're a business and want to make money. Okay, so it's really important now in terms of SEO to think like a human. Okay, so it's not just about keywords. You've got to craft those messages in your gallery images, in your bullet points, in your A+ content, in your Q&A to customers as well, so that you're training Rufus that your product is relevant to shoppers. Okay, so there's a lot to take in there, and there's a whole science behind that. Okay, so moving on to stage 2, clicks. Okay, so we've talked about getting found through PPC and SEO. Now we're found on the search results page. How do we get customers to choose our product to click to learn more about? So I just wanted to show you an example, which I did share at Epic. The importance of, so if we've got here, so this is an example of a brand I'm working with at the moment. It's a challenger brand, got nice packaging. People don't buy packaging. So this was the original main hero image. It was a simple packaging on a white background. And I started to just test, okay, so we know that shoppers don't buy packaging. However much you've spent on your branding, people aren't buying packaging. So they want to know what's in the box. So I was like, right, get the products out of the box. So it's really super clear what you get in that box, okay? Then we tested it again, right? So we know that the keyword we want to rank for is enzyme cleaner. So what we did was we added, design team did, ultra enzyme cleaner. So the main keyword we want to rank for, we added it to our box. It's not really added to the box, it's just added to this image, okay? Then we know that we're trying to, it's a pet odor remover product. So let's add some pets. It kind of is clickbait essentially. Then we want to really, because it was a high priced product, we want to really show why this is good value. So we want making it clear that this is a product concentrate and it makes 8 bottles. So now we're subconsciously telling customers that we're great value for money as well to justify the higher price point. And then because it's beautiful, scented, we want to add some, so that people can smell that product by using lemon and neroli imagery. And honestly, the performance was incredible just from moving to that iteration and onwards. Okay, so we've got some data here. You've got your shoulder to shoulder with your competitor. You've got to make people click to your listing. And this is a science. And I would recommend test to find out which image is getting the most click-through rate. Okay. So I'm not going to go through this whole slide, but remember we talked about once you've got people onto your listing, so they've clicked, you've got to now convert. So this is really where you should be investing so much time and attention. You've got to convert, because otherwise you're just going to bleed money on ads. Okay, so this is our passion here at ZEAL, is turning browsers into buyers. So we all know, like marketing gurus in the room, we really know that shoppers that aren't buying products, they're buying solutions. So we need to show that we understand our shoppers and we've got the best possible product to meet their very specific needs. And we're so much better than the competition. You know, you want to bring out every single benefit of that product and why it's better than the competition. You want to tell your brand story, like why your brand is the best. And that really goes back to amazing copywriting, okay, that's optimized for conversion. Your creatives got to have the right keywords. It's got to, you know, appeal to roofers, but it's got to talk to the shopper, and it's got to show the shopper this is the right product to meet their needs. Videos, how you setting your listing up in terms of variations. And I would absolutely wholeheartedly say you need to constantly test this as well. It is not a set it and forget it approach. Okay, so I'll just do some simple maths. I am conscious of time for my presentation. If you are concerned, which every brand should be, about profitability, you don't want to just bleed money on ads. You don't want to spend loads of money getting people to your listing if they don't convert. So without spending any extra money on ads, you really need to focus on conversion, because even just a 1% conversion lift will have huge revenue impact. So although some of the potential clients I meet with and talk about this with them, some brands still don't get the message that copying what's on your D2C site is not going to win on Amazon. And yes, it's cheaper to just copy imagery over, copy text over, but it's not cheaper in the long term, because you're just sending ad money to a listing that doesn't convert, is not right and set up for Amazon. So you know, spend, invest. If you're going to be on Amazon, you have to invest. It is, you know, an investment project for long-term gain. So metrics to track in terms of conversion. Well, it does depend on your goal again, but I would be monitoring constantly the conversion by SKU, so by your product detail page. You know, if you're making changes, how is your conversion rate fluctuating and hopefully increasing as you're improving your product detail pages. We want to be obviously looking at your TACO, so how much you spend on ads and how much your overall sales are, because that balance of paid and organic sales. Really look at cart abandonment rate, and if that's problematic or growing, or there's some SKUs that have got a higher cart abandon rate than others, really dig into that data, okay? You should, as a business, be tracking your keywords and how you're performing organically and paid on those keywords. I recommend Helium 10, and if anybody's interested in Helium 10, I've got a special discount code for that. You can plug in all of your strategic keywords for your different products and monitor how are you improving your rank on those keywords, product by product. 100% recommend that. And then take a look at your storefront. How many sales are being made on your storefront? What pages are performing the best, and how long people are spending on that storefront as well. So there's lots of data to track, but the key message is, you know, you want to be testing. Don't test loads of things at once, because you need to isolate those tests, but you do need to be testing and constantly looking for improvement. And you can do that on Amazon Experiments page. Okay, video is king. Absolutely, you need to have video, whether that's because of your sponsored brand ads to capture interest, or on your product detail page. The more videos you've got, the better you'll perform in terms of conversion. You know, and there's different ways of creating videos. So lifestyle demonstrations, how-to, expert interviews, testimonials from your customers, but think of it like an Instagram video. It doesn't need to be long. Unless it's a tutorial, people are still scrolling quickly. You've got to grab their attention really super quickly. So we don't want beautiful, slow intros or anything like that. Straight in, short, snappy videos, get the message across quickly. So that's kind of bringing me to the end of my presentation, but one of the messages I do want to share with you is that Amazon is a beast of a platform. Those of you who are on it know it, and there is so much potential, not just within the UK, but obviously internationally, globally as well. But Amazon is also a full funnel marketing beast as well. So there's so much you need to think of. Small brands probably just got enough money to be focusing on sponsored product campaigns where you're just targeting those shoppers with high purchase intent. They're at the bottom of that funnel. So you really want to focus on getting your sponsored product campaigns sorted, getting your product detail pages sorted, your hero images, max trying to get as many reviews as you possibly can to get social proof. You know, in terms of like the consideration stage as well, you know, you need to be really elevating your storefront, adding A+ content, video, you know, sponsored brands, sponsored display campaigns, and then top of funnel as well. There's so much you need to be investing in now. Sponsored TV is a great one, demand side platform. This is for brands with super big budgets. The thing that you could all do though is driving external traffic to Amazon. Amazon really rewards you. In fact, in the US, they reward you with money back for every sale that you've driven to that site, to your product detail page. They give you money back. And this is, it's not in the UK, just US, but you drive external traffic from, you know, email campaigns or influencers or whatever it might be, or whatever it might be, and they buy on Amazon, you will be rewarded on that algorithm. So I know a lot of brands don't want to invest so much in Amazon. They want to drive all of that lovely traffic to the D2C. But I suppose my message is, where are your shoppers, and where are you really going to get that growth, and where you're going to get the best return on investment? Yes, your D2C website, absolutely, that's where the profit's made, and ultimately that's where you want to invest in. But especially brands that are new or like, you know, growing, you've got to think, like, I've got a limited amount of resources. Where am I going to really focus as a channel? Is it your D2C? Is it your Amazon? Is it your TikTok shop, for example? And just really concentrate on that. And if it is going to be Amazon, driving that external traffic is really going to support you. So think of Amazon as a completely separate business unit. Think of it, the fact that, you know, that's where all your shoppers are, but that's where your competition is. It's an investment, and it is a really full funnel marketing approach is needed to win on Amazon. I don't know if I've got time to go through these slides.
We're okay, you've got some time.
Okay, so I've just kind of added a few extra slides to think about, and obviously you will have this presentation. But so for those people in the room that are launching or just really fresh to Amazon, there's some things that you really need to think about. So going back to the basics, what is your real goal of being on Amazon? Is it sales, market share? Is it just to have a presence on Amazon because it's expected by your shoppers to be on Amazon? And, you know, people are going to be on Amazon looking at your product, and, you know, they want to learn more about your product range, and they'll definitely be looking at your price, and they'll definitely be looking at your reviews. So is it just to have a presence, or is it because you really want to grow your business and grow your brand and international expansion? Because setting your goals really early will determine your KPIs to be focused on. Really important that you're looking at your, obviously, the market and doing deep competitor research. So much data on there. Again, Helium 10 is fantastic for this to help you, but really understand who you're competing with. Who are you shoulder to shoulder with? What's their product? What's their price? How can you differentiate yourself? Your product detail page, how are you going to make it clear and obvious that you're better than the competition? And that is just marketing fundamentals. Understand who you're competing against. Products and keyword research. So what I mean by that is you've got to know which keywords to target in your campaigns, and also in your SEO. So basics, keyword research, but also product research, because if you're running ads, you might want to target competitor products that you want to advertise on their product detail page. Maybe products that aren't as good as yours, or a higher price, or have lower ratings and reviews. So you might want to target them as well. Helium 10 can help with that. Again, really being clear on your pricing and your profitability analysis. Amazon's expensive. Can you really compete? Do go into the FBA calculator on Amazon and really know your numbers, especially if you're doing FBA, especially storage costs, which skyrocket in Q4. Really understand your numbers, but also know, I'm sorry to say this, that if you're higher priced than your own D2C site or somewhere else, Amazon will just suppress your listing, because that's not, that's not their business model. They want to be the cheapest, offer the best customer service and the best product range to shoppers. So if you go and charge a high price on Amazon and you're cheaper somewhere else, they'll just suppress your listing. So make sure you know your numbers and you can confidently compete. Okay, catalog setup, this sounds simple, but really think about how you want to show up to shoppers. So if you are a t-shirt company and you've got lots of colors in the range or sizes in the range, it makes sense to do a variation listing where you're driving all of your ads to your best-selling product, and then they can see the rest of the range within your portfolio of products. But it's not always sensible to do a variation setup, and that's simply because the search results page, if you've got a variation listing, won't show all of those variations up. So if your goal is to really get sales on your individual SKUs and you want to dominate that keyword, then I would be recommending not to have variations set up for your products, because when a customer shops like gift hamper, you want your whole range dominating the search results page. So that's something to consider. And obviously you've got to set up your ads. So that's kind of step one, launch. You have to advertise. You'll just be invisible otherwise. Step two, so much more complex. Won't go through it all here, but I have covered it in my presentation. It's all about really scaling, really investing. This is such an exciting platform to compete on. It's also so frustrating and it can really impact on your profitability. So go in with your eyes open. So many things to focus on, but the key message at the top, it's not a set it and forget it. It's a test, a learn, it's a refine, and also it's 100% don't copy your D2C site. And then for those brands, I don't know how many are in the room that are really on Amazon and smashing it and have been on it for years and they love it, how else can you grow? So looking at advanced ad campaigns, maybe doing some sponsored TV or DSP, obviously new product development. Amazon's that place to test new products, look at what keywords are being searched for. That's a whole new topic, but launch new products, international expansion. Essentially, you can sell to the whole world via Amazon. So looking at how you can really take your business to the next level. Advanced analytics. I might talk about this later if we've got time. There's so much data you can get about your products and your customers on Amazon, and really understanding that data will take you to that next level. And as I mentioned, really investing in that external traffic integration would really accelerate that growth. So yeah, if you want to learn more about me, I post regularly on LinkedIn, or contact me via Darren or this email address, and be lovely to chat to you if you've got any questions.
Thank you, Emma. That was amazing.
Can I stop presenting?
Yes, if you could. I've got a couple of questions before we move on to Rachel. I really liked the whole theory around conversion rate. I think it's something that a lot of brands probably don't put as much effort into as they should, or that they think they are. And I always advocate for it, because on any platform, on any channel, your conversion rate is what gives you that multiplier effect. And if you're spending money, especially on things like ads, you want to make sure you're converting as much as possible. And that's not even to go into the residual effects of better conversions on algorithms and these types of things. So I really like that concept. A question from me, just on getting started. If you were to speak to an e-commerce business and let's say they had quite a few products, is it better to start small and kind of dip a toe in, or is it better to kind of set a reasonable budget and go with quite a few products and really give it sort of go all in on it?
I would always say that you've got to invest in Amazon. So it depends on your resources, and it's better to do the smaller number really, really well. Otherwise, A, you'll be disheartened. B, if your resources are limited, you're not really going to get very far. So, you know, you wouldn't succeed. So my recommendations to a small business, if you've got lots of SKUs, is pick your best sellers, focus on them, get them really, those product detail pages really optimized, and put all of your budget into driving sales on those products. And then see, like, get used to working on Amazon and see the performance growing, and then say, right, okay, the next phase, the next group of products. If you think about ad spends, a good way of considering how much you should spend on ads is, what is your growth goals? If your growth goals are £100,000 a month, you're probably going to need to spend £20,000 on advertising. Is that typical tacos? So how much budget have you really got for ads, and what are your growth goals? And that can help you with the maths. Amazon's ads are expensive, so yeah, my recommendation is start small, start well, consolidate all your resources, and really invest.
Brilliant. Thank you. I have 2 questions from Lorna and 1 question from Montserrat. What I think we'll do, as questions will keep coming in as we go through it, if I can hand over to you, Rachel, and then we'll have a chance to answer these questions at the end. I am sort of noting them down. Are you ready to present, Rachel?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Emma. That was amazing.
Pleasure.
1 second, let me just share my screen. Sorry if you can hear any background noise. I live next to a train line and it's very noisy when the window's open. There we go. Can you see that okay?
Got it. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So today we're going to be looking at strategies for maximizing sales on TikTok. And just to give you a bit of background as to where this comes from and what creds I have to tell you about this sort of thing. So I've worked at Anicca for 3 or so years now, maybe 4 years. I've worked in social for over 10 years. And a lot of this information has come from my experience within the last 2 or 3 years of working on clients on TikTok. So in that time, I've managed to scale one of our clients to over 1 million in revenue. So all of these learnings I'm talking about today have come from the journey that we've been through. TikTok's my favorite platform. I love it. I think it's really great for a lot of brands. It's very different to Meta. I think a lot of people default think, oh, I want to advertise on social, and they go straight to Facebook and Instagram. But there's a lot of opportunity on TikTok too. And I create content myself. So I think it's an all-round fun platform. Love to talk about it and love to get clients on there as well. So as I've said, if this is a presentation to summarize everything that I've learned over the last few years, and if I was to create a TikTok account for business from scratch, this is what I would do now. So lots of useful information in here for people who are beginners, or if you're already on your TikTok selling journey and you think there could be some improvements made, I think this is helpful to you. So the number one thing, which is the basis for a lot of this presentation today, is to open up a TikTok shop. So TikTok has its own ecosystem where you can discover and buy products without leaving the platform. So quite similar to Amazon in the sense that you don't need to go onto any other website. You can discover, you can learn about the products, you can find similar products, all without leaving Amazon. So it's its own e-commerce ecosystem on there. This is the most important recommendation if you want to scale on TikTok. The success that we've seen with our client who's generated over 1 million in revenue, that was all from TikTok Shop. So prior to launching TikTok Shop, we did try conversion ads. So conversion ads are where people see the ads in the platform and they have to leave TikTok and go onto a website to purchase or convert in another way. And people don't do that on TikTok. People get stuck in the cycle of scrolling. So it's very hard to get people to actually leave the platform and do an action on another website. So if you want people to actually convert, you really need to open up a TikTok shop and that be the focus of all your efforts on the platform. You do need to treat it like a marketplace such as Amazon. So people behave in the same way that they would on Amazon, but on TikTok shop. Obviously, a lot of the products are quite similar. You see a lot of gadgets on there. You can buy all sorts on TikTok Shop now. And people do go there as a first place of discovery and shopping because they think that they're going to get a bargain on TikTok Shop. So people have a look on TikTok Shop with price in mind, similar to the same sort of mentality that people go onto Amazon for. So bear that in mind when you're focusing on this platform, that people are very, very money conscious and they're looking for something good value and cheaper than they can get on any other websites. So again, as I've mentioned, if you are relying on users to leave the platform, this isn't working. So if you're running ads currently like this, I can imagine that you're not seeing many conversions or not many people are leaving to visit your website and your campaigns are costing you a lot. If this is the frame of mind and the types of ads that you're running, you're missing out on a lot of potential sales because people just won't take that action. But if they had the product on TikTok Shop, it's a lot easier for people to go and purchase on there. So you're making it much easier for people to purchase from you if you were to launch your products on TikTok Shop. So this is some examples of how you can purchase through TikTok Shop. So you have the shop tab on the left. This is customized based on the types of things that you search for and interact with. So I say that, but that McDonald's handbag, I have not searched for or interacted with that. However, like the clothes, the books, makeup, all that sort of thing, they're things I'm interested in. And as you can see, just from this screenshot, it is very deal heavy. So you have daily deal drops at the top, then you have today's deals, and then you have a coupon offer underneath that. So it's very discount focused on TikTok Shop. And I think a lot of brands feel that this isn't right for their platforms. There was some conversations that I had at Epic about how people want to get on TikTok Shop, but they're struggling because their products are too expensive, but they don't want to discount their items. And I understand why that's difficult, but I think that is one of the reasons brands are successful on TikTok, because they really lean into that heavy discount bargain mentality, and that's where they see a lot of sales. So I think if you really want to have success on TikTok, you do need to lean into that a bit more and offer something cheaper to get people hooked. Another place to shop is obviously directly through ads. This second screenshot here is a video ad where somebody is advertising a lip liner, and then you can click this yellow box here, which will take you through to the shop tab. So you can have it, it's like an Amazon listing. You have a look at the products, have a look at the variations. You can read about the description, the ingredients, and then obviously you can go through to purchase in the app. You don't have to leave. The third one over is an affiliate video. So anybody on TikTok can create affiliate videos and earn commission through the platform. So this person is obviously advertising this box set of kids' books that she has here. People can click this link and purchase, and this lady will earn commission. That's another way to shop. You can also use affiliates in your ads. I do talk about this a bit further on. And then lastly, you can shop through live. So TikTok Live has become like a tele-shopping channel, essentially. People sell every live you scroll past, it's somebody selling. You don't often get lives that aren't selling anymore. But if you are planning to sell through TikTok Live, again, there is a very heavy discount mentality on there. So if you remember, like I remember watching QVC when I was younger and those sorts of things, when there wasn't too much choice to watch on the TV. And they would just do a new discount every 10 minutes, or they would do a lot of like panic selling where you think, oh God, I need to buy this right now because they've only got 3 in stock. That's the same sort of thing on TikTok. So people are really taking on those sorts of panic selling strategies, but it gets the users hooked. It really does. So people think, oh my goodness, this is the cheapest I've seen it. I need to buy it right now. It's a cause for a lot of impulse purchases. But people do see sales skyrocket during their lives. And a really good example, if you want to have a bit of digging into how to do a good live, P. Louise is a makeup brand on TikTok. I talk about P. Louise quite a lot because I think they are, they did everything first, really. And they're a really good example of how to do TikTok right. they did a live of probably about, I don't know, like 6 months ago, maybe about, or maybe it was Black Friday. I can't quite remember. But they did heavy deal drops every 5 minutes, and their shop was selling out of everything. They were offering the lowest price they possibly could, and they sold so much stock. They sold 1 million. They generated 1 million in 12 hours, and that was a record for TikTok Live. Like, no retailer has ever done that before. So people really do get hooked into this panic buying, and if you can offer that, I would suggest it. One of my clients, they absolutely smash TikTok lives, and what they do is people will comment in the live saying what they want, and the brand will offer a discount on the products that are seemingly in demand in the chat. So let's say people are requesting a certain, I don't know, like a certain type of book. In the chat, they were saying, do you have, I don't know, the Harry Potter series? And the brand will say, yes, we do. And they will offer it with 10% off, because they know people are in the chat wanting to buy that product, and they can get really quick instant sales without taking too much of a discount off. So it's working with the people in the room and trying to get to the middle, essentially. So you're not losing too much money, but these people are still getting a discount. So there's a lot of optimizations to be done when you're in a TikTok live to get to that point. But the main thing is you do need to offer a bit of a discount there. So generally, low-cost items with little consideration work the best, and that's because people have that impulse buy mentality. It doesn't necessarily mean that higher price items don't work. They're just not bought as impulsively as low-cost items. So you see a lot of makeup products being sold on TikTok Shop now, which are not cheap. But they might be cheaper than other retailers. So I think, again, that's where it plays in. As long as you're cheaper than the other retailers, you don't need to drop your price massively, but you need to be competitive. Okay, so the second thing I would suggest is offering a high commission to creators. So as I've mentioned previously, TikTok Shop has an affiliate network. So all creators are affiliates. Anybody on TikTok can sell products. I think you need to have a minimum amount of followers or something like that. But essentially, everybody on TikTok can become an affiliate and tag products and generate commission from these products. So as a brand, affiliate outreach is very time consuming, and it doesn't generate much interest. So obviously, I've mentioned I create content. You get so many notifications per day from brands wanting to collaborate with you, but what they mean is they want you to promote their product on TikTok Shop. So add it to your showcase or make a video about it, and you're getting invites from everybody, all these random different distributors, manufacturers. You get a lot from China as well. There's a lot of spam in there, so a lot of it's also not relevant to your audience or the type of product that you would promote. So you ignore a lot of it because obviously you have a lot of other things going on in your day that's not very important. So as a brand, outreaching to people, you're just going to get lost in a sea of messages, considering you probably might get, I don't know, like 20 or more a day. I think it's a very time-consuming and quite pointless activity from a brand's perspective. And there's a better way of getting creators' attention. So creators are looking for a product with high commission and a free or refundable product sample. So if you can offer this as a brand, creators will be finding you rather than you trying to find creators and competing with all of the other notifications that they receive from within the app. So a creator will come to you if they discover a product that earns them money and is well suited to their audience. So the type of content that I create, I'm just going to use mine as an example, is I create travel content. So I don't generally promote stuff from TikTok Shop, but I would only ever promote something if it was relevant to my audience. So that might be, I don't know, like hiking boots or a backpack or something that's very useful to travel with, maybe like an SPF bundle, something like that. I would promote that sort of thing if I felt that was relevant. I don't generally do that, but that's the type of thing that I would reach out to. So a lot of the stuff I get offered is, I don't know, like teddies, kitchen gadgets, like all random stuff that I would never ever post about. This is an example here of what it looks like from the back end of TikTok. So you can filter when you're in the TikTok Shop for Creator, you can filter based on the price and the commission. So if you're a creator that's looking to sell something on TikTok and make a bit of money, you would go into this and you would click, I don't know, 20 to 30% or more than 30%. So you're looking for something with the highest commission. So if you have a product, maybe you might have a couple of products you can do this with. If you offer a higher commission, you will come up in this filter and the relevant audience will discover you. So this was a good one, actually. I think this one was offering quite a high 20% commission. There we go. It's not an expensive product, so you will likely sell this in mass. People don't have to consider this. People will buy this on an impulse, and you get a refundable sample. So if I was a creator right now, I'd be thinking, this is great. I could sell loads of these. And the first one that I purchase, it's going to get refunded anyway. So I don't have to lose any money at all. In fact, I get a free product and I'm making 20% commission on every product, every sale. So this is an example of a really good product. If I was a beauty content creator or something like this, I definitely would promote this. So this is what you need to do with your niche of products. Whatever category it's in, you will find somebody that this is relevant to, and they will discover your product and promote it. And it just continues. It's like a snowball effect. This is an example here. If you go through the sample process, so this I should have taken a screenshot of the beginning. Sorry. This is a grippy primer from Maybelline. So you can select a free sample, and then it lets you know like how much you can earn in your commission. So you can earn 90p per sale, which again, that's a lot. And then I can select which primer I want. And then there's some rules at the back. So in order to receive a free sample, you have to post a video within 14 days of the sample. So it's like commitment. People don't have to say it's great. People can be honest and say it's not very good. It's not an ad. You're not paying for these people. They are just earning commission. So you don't really have much control over what they say about your product, but they are committed to making a video. So if you are sending these samples out, users will have to make a video. So it's not a waste there. Just make sure that the sample you're offering is likely to get good reviews, because the worst thing you don't really want the whole internet saying how awful your product is after they receive a free sample. But this is just to show you as a brand or as a creator what this process looks like. So once the sample is sent, the creator is committed to making a video about your product. Choose products with high profit margins to cover both your offered commission and TikTok's 9% fee. So this is important. So as I've said, you want to offer a high commission as possible. If you can get into that 20 to 30% commission category, that's ideal. But you do have to be mindful that on every sale, TikTok will take 9% of that sale as well. So you're not just, let's say you offer a 20% commission, you also have to factor in this 9%. So really, you need to consider that you're going to lose 29% from this product. So do factor that in when you're choosing products to offer out as samples or increase the commission on them. So I would be brave with this, and I would say choose a couple of products that you can do this with, and just consider them like loss leaders. And I mentioned when I did my Epic talk, I mentioned this retailer that I used to work at. They were a discount retailer, and they used to offer really big packs of toilet roll for super, super cheap. And they used to lose money on those, but that's why people used to come in. And we found out that I think it was like 1 in 4 or 2 in 4, something like that. Customers that came into the store came in and bought the toilet paper. So people will come into the store to buy the toilet paper, but they also buy all of the other random stuff from the shop as well. So you're actually making a lot of money by offering a product at a loss. So think about this in the same sort of way, but from the digital perspective. You're taking a small hit, but you're going to get a much bigger gain. So people are going to discover your products. Obviously, they're going to make the videos. More people are going to discover them, and it just goes on and on and on. So I really do think that just take that hit at the beginning, but the impact that you'll have from selling a product with high commission on TikTok Shop, I think you'll get the benefits from that pretty quickly. So this is a visual representation of this snowball effect that I've been trying to explain. So this person up here is a content creator, and they have created a video to sell the product and is going to make commission. So they've posted a video on TikTok. And then you've got, let's say, 3 people here. You've got somebody who has bought the product. So this top person has made commission. Then you've just got somebody who has seen the content. Equally, that's okay. You've got some brand awareness from that. But then you've got another creator who thought, oh, this product looks relevant to my audience, and I can see that there's really good commission made from this. I'm also going to create a video from there. And therefore, their audience now gets a video based on your product. So it's a big snowball effect there. And it will just keep going and keep going. And this is how products go viral on the platform. Okay, so the third one is create content. And I just want to caveat, you don't have to create content, but it makes a very, very big difference in your whole TikTok experience and the growth of your TikTok and the scale of your business if you do create content. So as a new TikTok seller, you'll need to earn trust by creating regular content because this helps build credibility and familiarity. So as a new TikTok seller, obviously people might be a bit skeptical about your shop. If they have seen no videos and you've just appeared on TikTok shop, they don't know whether to trust you or not. They don't know whether you're a scam. So by building content, that's where it builds credibility, and they can see, okay, they're based in the UK, they value quality. I can see that they're maybe doing videos in a warehouse. So this is a real business. All those factors do go into whether somebody makes a purchase decision or not. When it comes to creating content, I do recommend hiring somebody with the right experience or partnering with a freelancer who obviously works with other brands. I think this is the most cost-effective option, and it ensures higher quality. Obviously, if you're going to hire somebody full-time to do this, that's quite an expensive thing, and you can't really guarantee that the quality is going to be what you want. So this is where I think partnering with the freelancer is the best option, because they have a lot of experience from other brands. They're always up to date with like the trends, how to capture content for social. I do think it takes a specific type of person to be able to create content and manage the organic social for a TikTok account, as compared to somebody who creates content for Facebook or Instagram or something like that, or a general marketing person. They are very different skills. So when creating your organic content, you do need to have a mix of trending sounds and evergreen content. And this is going to give you the best of both worlds. So you're going to have the virality when you use trending sounds, but the evergreen content is there for people who have got to know your brand and they want to learn more and engage with the content that you create. So this is the best way to go about it, really. So trending sounds help you to reach new users, engaging with that audio, boosting your chances of going viral. Evergreen content with keyword-rich captions and hashtags helps you to reach users actively searching for those terms. So let's say we have a business and we hand make plant pots. I have a plant pot right there, it's making me think of that. So you will want to be creating evergreen content about how you create these plant pots. It might be the process of painting them, putting them in the kiln. You might talk about the prices and why they're so expensive because all of the hours you've put into them. You might want to talk about delivery and how you can ensure that these products will arrive without breaking. You might want to talk about some events you host. You might host events where people can come and paint their own plant pots. All of these things are evergreen content, and they're really interesting to people who are into plants, plant pot crafts, that sort of thing. When you use a trending sound, not everybody will be interested in the type of content you create, but this is why you need to have evergreen alongside that. And by using keyword-rich captions, so essentially using plant pot crafts, there's a lot of associated keywords that you could use for that. Making sure that you put a lot of hashtags in the bottom of your videos, and also quite a full caption. Don't just leave it with a couple of words. Put quite a full caption in there. That will help you get seen by people who are actively searching for those terms on the platform. This is a game changer on how to find the right words to use in your captions and your hashtags. So this is TikTok Creative Center. And if you go, I think I've put a URL here. Yeah, there we go. So if you go up to this trends option in the top, you do have to use this on desktop. This isn't available on mobile. So use your laptop for this, and you do have to be signed in. So if you go into trends and there's a drop-down box that happens. You can search for hashtags, but this is really useful information as to what hashtags you should include, and also what words to use in your caption. So I would go into there and I would search plant pots, and what I would see is a list of captions. Then I would see a list of the amount of videos that have been made in the last 7 days, I think it was, related to each of these words. And then I would see the amount of searches that people have been searching for on the platform for these words. Also, you get to see the amount of video views. So there's a lot of information in there to make a judgment on what words to include in your caption and in your hashtags. So if I was you, I would look for the opportunities in there. So obviously you can include some of the most used, most searched for words, but this is quite often also where there's a lot of videos already created. So your video probably isn't going to get as many impressions as you're hoping for. But there's going to be a lot of opportunities in there where there is a lot of search terms, but not a lot of videos. So make sure that you include these in your captions and in your hashtags, because this is where you're going to get hopefully a good amount of views from. So this is probably one of the most important things that you can do. It's very simple. You're basically just educating yourself on what people are searching for, and that will make a big difference as to how people discover your content. Here we go. So this is what I was talking about. So I've just searched for bathroom in this example here. There's quite a lot here. So bathroom, obviously you've already got 2,000 posts here. It's got a lot of views there, 19 million views. So I would include that. But the opportunity here, there's a lot of opportunity. So bathroom makeover, you don't have many posts in comparison to the millions of views that people are looking at. Bathroom design, bathroom cleaning. In fact, I would include, if you can, obviously it depends whether it's like a bathroom renovation or bathroom cleaning. If you can use some of these and they're relevant, I would definitely include these because there's a lot of opportunity here. So this is just to give you an idea, like it's very easy to use. So you want to be using these as a hashtag, but also try to include these words in your caption, obviously without hashtag. Okay, so the next thing I would recommend is to use TikTok Live consistently. So you want to go live at the same time each week to build consistency and grow your audience. Having the same presenter is a bonus because familiarity keeps users coming back. My client who I've spoke about at the beginning, who we've scaled over the years, they do 3 TikTok lives a week, I think. And they have the same, they do 3 TikTok lives. Each one has a different presenter, but they are the same presenter every week. So let's say they do a live on a Wednesday, that will be the same presenter every Wednesday. And it's been really interesting actually seeing, I went to visit them recently and I was there when they were doing one of their lives in the studio. And it was really interesting seeing the audience actually chatting with the presenter because they come back every week. They chat with the presenter, they know each other. And the presenter was like having a bit of a laugh, like a personal joke with some of the people in the chat because they keep coming back every week. It's like they've built this community. And that's really, really nice. So if you can create something like that, I really recommend it because this particular presenter, her numbers were really high. And this is people every week. They know that they're going to see the same face every week. They know that they're going to get a discount on products. And this person was specialized in what they sell. So they can talk all around the products and the industry, as well as being a lovely person to get to know on the live as well. Lots of energy. So that, if you can do that, is an absolute bonus and you really should be doing it. Live shopping isn't for everybody. So you do need somebody that is confident on camera, commercially minded and able to perform under pressure. So there's a lot of signals when you're doing a live as to what products you should discount next. Obviously, there's a lot of chat. People will say in the chat, do you have this product? Are you offering a discount on this product? So there's the engagement there. But there's also people, you can see people who are browsing products. You can see people who are putting products in their basket, but maybe not converting. And you can also see people checking out. So when you're doing a live, really, you need to have a presenter and somebody in the back who's doing all the commercial decisions. And the presenter and the person in the back will be communicating as to what decisions you're going to make based on all the signals that you can see. So that's where you need to have somebody who can be very entertaining, very confident on camera, keeping the audience engaged, keeping them engaging with the products and keeping them in the live, but also the person on the other side who can make the commercial decisions and communicate to each other. So it is quite a big task. And this is why you need the right people to do this for you. I would recommend that you incentivize your lives with exclusive deals so that people will join knowing that they could get the best discount possible. It gives them a reason to join, especially if you're selling, I guess, isn't the most entertaining thing to watch, but people will join if they know that they're going to get the best discount possible. So I definitely recommend incentivizing and only offering these sorts of price drops on TikTok Live. Don't offer them as part of, like your usual discounting on TikTok Shop. Keep these for the lives, because this will keep people coming back and knowing that they're going to get the best bargain on your lives. Create a studio space for your live. So this is my 5th recommendation. It really does make a difference to see all the products in the background and obviously have them at the forefront, because you can pick them up and people will ask about your background as well. So let's say something, I don't know, it's caught their eye in the background. You can reach for that and then talk about that product as well. Without those visual aids, people don't have questions to ask. It really does help generate conversation in the chat. So this is some examples here of I was scrolling through TikTok Live, and this was just some examples of the different retailers who have backdrops. They all look kind of similar. It's usually a shelving unit with products on and then some products at the front. And that's a very standard, I guess, layout for TikTok Shop. But again, it's for that reason. It's a visual aid. You can quickly scroll past and really identify, okay, this is what these people are selling. It's a sales TikTok Live. And if you want to join to see what bargains or what discounts you can get, to do that because of the setting. Obviously, it helps by people to pick up and display and talk about some of their products. I do think it also looks visually nice. If you look at this 3rd one across, I really like the layout of that one. It's very on brand. They have plants. They have the lovely pink background that goes with the colors of their products. And I feel like they've worked on that really nicely. However, the one on the left, what brand is that? My Protein. For a brand that big, you would think that they would have more of a branded layout. I think that looks quite amateur. And if you are, like a sole trader or a brand starting out, I do think that can work in your favor, because it kind of suggests to the audience that this is, like a real person. This is the person's own business. And it's more informal. And I do think, obviously, you want people to know that you are the owner of the brand or the founder, and you can have that sort of relationship with the audience. But for a brand like My Protein, which is obviously a huge brand, I would expect them to have a set, essentially. I would expect them to look similar to this 3rd one here with the pink background. And I think without that, they do look a bit amateur, and they could be doing a lot better there. So just keep that in mind when you are going live. My client who runs TikTok Lives, they have an actual studio, because they've progressed in live so much over the years that actually they realize they need to just upgrade on this. So they have a soundproof studio. They have a presenter. They have 2 people sat on their laptops, putting discounts on things and obviously making the commercial decisions. And then they have a videographer who manages the live. He does close-ups of the products as well. So this is a well-oiled machine. They have optimized this completely over the years. Not everybody has to be on that level. You can start off small and go live like on your phone, but the aspiration is to get to that level. This is just an example of how easy it could be to make your background look amazing. So on the left, this is P. Louise. On the left, obviously, they've got overlays on their screen here. So you can see like win an iPhone every 30 minutes. They've got free shipping. They've got their discount codes. But in the background, this pink background, it's only a cardboard cutout. So if you look at the second picture here, you can see the cardboard cutouts that they have behind them. So you don't need it to be this, I don't know, over the top expensive expenditure to go live. You could pay for a cardboard cutout that is your constant background, but on camera it is so visually effective. You would never think on the left that this is what it actually looks like on the right. So it is really impactful if you would have something like that. And obviously a cardboard cutout in the grand scheme of things doesn't cost too much compared to, like a proper studio setup. So you could make it look really good for not too much money. So if you struggle with this, or you don't have the room to do it, maybe you don't have the technical knowledge, or you just don't really want to be a presenter on TikTok Lives, you can outsource this to an agency who will manage all aspects of live streaming for you. So their business models are made up of this. All they do is TikTok Lives for people. So a brand will send them their products. Obviously, they will create their own branded studio space, and they will have presenters that just work for them, like full-time or part-time, whatever. And they will do all of this for you. So you could pay to outsource this. Okay, and my next one, I think this is my last recommendation, is to run TikTok Shop ads. This is the most effective way to reach a wider audience. And you want to focus most of your budget on TikTok Shop placement ads. So this is the most commercial placement. Let me just see if I go into, here we are. So this is an example of a TikTok Shop product shopping ad. So this appears in the shopping tab. Obviously, you've got the little ad here. And this is the most commercial placement because this is, people are here with the highest intent. They are going through the shop tab looking to purchase something. They're not scrolling through their phone. They're not, like watching funny videos and then come across your product. They are already in the mindset of buying and purchasing something. So this is why it's the most commercial placement. And you see the highest ROAS from this placement generally. Video shopping ads are great for product discovery and brand awareness. So video shopping ads are when you're scrolling through and you're watching videos, and obviously somebody will tag a product in the video. Obviously, this is why it's great for discovery and brand awareness, because you're going to be appearing on people's feeds. They might not know you, or they might follow another content creator that is obviously posting a video using your product. But you might not be in the mind frame of shopping there and then. You might interact with the product and have a look at it, but more than likely you're going to scroll past. This is an example of a video shopping ad. This is I showed you this earlier, but this is just to refresh your memory as to what this ad format looks like. You want to make sure that you're creating your content like you would as an organic TikTok. So don't think about your TikTok ads as ads, essentially. Make them as engaging as you possibly can. So when people are scrolling through their feed, it doesn't feel jarring. It doesn't feel like they're watching an ad. You want it to just feel like a natural TikTok that people will just watch and engage with as they're regularly scrolling through. If something's a bit too formal or it seems like an ad, people will just scroll past, because people don't really want to see ads, do they? So make that as organic as you can, really. If your affiliate content is strong, you can use this for your ads. So you don't have to create the ads yourself. You can use your affiliates, but remember that you will still be paying your commission. So this is quite an expensive venture if you are paying a high commission, and then you've got obviously your TikTok fee, but then on top of that, you also have your ad spend. So this is a last resort, really. If you can't create that organic style content yourself, and you think that your affiliate content is better, obviously you can use that, but it does come at a higher cost. When you're running your ad campaigns, make sure to measure the performance using KPIs such as ROAS and revenue. So ROAS is return on ad spend. Oh, that was the last one. I thought there was another one after that. Does anybody have any questions? I'm just going to stop sharing my screen now so I can come back to the chat and see everybody.
Loads of questions to go through. Thank you, Rachel.
No worries.
That was really good. I did have a question myself, just on the lives. What kind of controls do people get over the chat that's happening at the same time? Can you, like, for example, if there's someone talking to disgruntled customers or people talking off topic, can you control that, or is it just kind of free for all?
I think that's they sound like negative things, but I actually think they're two good things. Because the most, obviously, if people are just generally chatting in your live, that's good, because that's engagement, and it's gonna signal to the platform that people are engaged. There's lots of conversations happening, and your live is going to appear on more people's feeds. So that is good if that's happening in your live. If there is a disgruntled customer, that's an opportunity for you to fix the situation. And if they're becoming, like, harassing, you can moderate them and, just remove them from the chat. But I do think if somebody comes into your live and says, I've had an issue with this product, or the quality of this was crap, like that's an opportunity for you to show to other people that you're willing to fix a situation. So I think both of those things are opportunities, really.
Brilliant, thank you. I'm sitting here wondering what Kirsty's reaction might be if I bought her a McDonald's handbag for her next birthday. Particularly well received.
Thinking, what is this?
I'm also wondering what grippy primer is, but maybe that's a question for the margin on products and the fees, it was quite surprising, really. Did you say 27%, 29%? So TikTok take their share. We've got commission that then goes to people as well. When you're talking pricing strategy, is there a case to say that products should be priced? I don't know what the rules are around offering bigger discounts, but do brands tend to increase their prices and then offer a big discount, or is it just something that just needs to be accepted as part of using the platform?
I think it's just accepted as part of the package of using the platform. Like, for example, there's a spray called Sol de Janeiro that is just discounted on TikTok the whole time. You wouldn't bother buying it in Boots or anywhere like that, because it's always an offer on TikTok. And they've had such success because of that. It's become like a viral product to buy. I think it is part of the package of just selling on TikTok. And if you want to scale your business and sell a lot and shift a lot of stock, that's what you need to do. But you don't have to offer a high commission. Like when I mentioned like using a loss leader, you can just offer like 2 or 1 product where you offer a high commission, and that's to get the reach from other creators. But all your products, all your other products, they don't have to offer commission if you don't want to. So you could just pay that 9% TikTok fee and just have those first couple of products with the high commission to get creators finding and discovering your products and getting that snowball effect moving. You don't have to offer 20% on everything.
Brilliant. Thank you. We've got some questions for both of you. I think we'll do this in a sort of rapid fire way. If we circle back to Amazon, and we'll finish on a couple of TikTok questions. Emma, got a question about customer reviews. Should you monitor customer reviews regularly and respond to any issues? And are Vine customer reviews for free products useful or not? You're on mute, sorry. There you go.
Unmuted. Am I unmuted?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So customer reviews, there's 2 types essentially. There's a product review and you cannot respond to them. Amazon does allow you, if you're brand registered, to be able to contact the customer if they're, or offer a courtesy refund, but the contact the customer is through a templated response by Amazon, and that's only available if it's a really negative review. So I would always recommend contacting the customer, and if you wanted to offer a refund, you don't have free form communication with that customer. The other type of review is a seller review. That's in the performance feedback section of Amazon Seller Central, and that's about you as a seller, and always respond to them. Yes. The other question, Vine, 100% Vine. You need to have reviews on Amazon for social proof. So if you're launching on Amazon with no reviews, no one's going to trust you. That's just how it works. Everybody needs to see that it's a credible seller and brand. And if you've got no reviews, then people are going to be really suspicious, and that's just going to actually destroy your conversion metrics. So always invest in Amazon Vine. I think you can get up to 30 reviews on each product, and you have to obviously pay Amazon a small fee, £130 or something like that. And then you have to send the product to those Vine voices. So it's the £130 plus obviously the cost. Vine also is only available if your product is in FBA, not FBM. So 100% recommend Vine. It's just a foundation of launching on Amazon.
Brilliant, thank you. There was a comment here. I don't know if you've got anything to add around Amazon starting to show how frequently products are returned, which for, I think it was Lorna that asked the question, has influenced their purchasing choices. Is that right? Have they started to show that data?
Yeah, and more. So Amazon wants to be, excuse me, Amazon, as I mentioned, wants to be the destination for shoppers, and it's all about customer service. So, and they want to sell products and not have them return. So if Amazon can provide as much helpful information to shoppers to make an informed decision, then they are going to continue. And really the only way around that as a brand is just to have a fantastic product with great customer service, but also making sure that your product detail page is really clear. And the photographs and all clear what the customer will receive, because then that is going to reduce your return rate. If there's no questions, we've probably all shopped on Temu, right? And then we get the product and it's tiny. On it, that's a simple example, but on Amazon, make sure there is nothing that a customer would be confused by. And obviously just having a fantastic product is going to ensure that your return rates are good.
Yeah. You mentioned hero images. Are you talking about adding extra images to make it more sellable? And this particular person sells outdoor furniture, so things like picnic tables. Would you recommend adding images on top of that, because they won't have any packaging with them? So I guess it's about sort of situational images, right?
Yeah, so with hero images, it's the main hero image. I call it hero image. It's the main product image that's on the white background. So if you're a furniture company, then you're looking similar, just type in your keyword onto Amazon and see what your competitors are doing. And absolutely, Darren, it's adding some lifestyle elements to it. Maybe it's a case of a slightly different angle that's a bit different and a bit intriguing compared to your competition. Maybe it's setting that table. So I would recommend going to the search results, seeing what your competitors are doing, seeing how you could differentiate slightly. And obviously, you have to be careful with Amazon's terms of service that you shouldn't be including any accessories that are not included with the product. But I always push those boundaries respectfully. So by adding something nice on that table, like flowers or place settings or something like that, it's about catching the eye of the shopper. So firstly, go to search results page, type in your main keyword, look at your competition and make yourself stand out from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a question around customer information and customer data. Now, this was during Rachel's presentation, but I think you maybe have something to comment on this as well. With TikTok, Rachel, do you get to own customer data and information, or does that stay with TikTok? And I was just interested then, Emma, afterwards, if how Amazon handles that. Is it still the same, that it's all held Amazon side?
I'm not 100% sure, because the seller center is generally managed by our clients rather than us. But from what I have heard, based on conversations, is that is owned by TikTok, and that stays within TikTok.
Is that true with? Sorry, Rachel.
No, I was just going to say the only reason that we I think that is because I once spoke about remarketing, and I said, oh, you could probably remarket to those people who you've sold to on TikTok previously, and they said, oh no, we can't access the emails like that. So this is why I think it's held within TikTok. I'm not 100% because obviously we don't manage the seller center, but I think so.
And is that the same with Amazon, Emma?
Yeah, I suppose it's just understanding where that question came from, what sort of customer information they're wanting to have access to. But essentially, Amazon owns the customer. You don't own the customer. Of course, you can get their name and address if you are sending the product to them. So it depends on what data you're looking for. So could somebody reach out to me and ask that question directly, or I don't know if you can unmute them and ask that question. So it's just, what data are they trying to have access to? Because if it's like advertising data, it can absolutely retarget them. If it's demographic data, depends. It's more readily available in the US. So it depends is my answer. Please reach out to me and have a conversation if you want further information on this.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll see if they come back with more information. If not, they can always reach out afterwards. Last question, Rachel, on TikTok around hashtags. How many should we use? Is there any priorities over the order in which hashtags are used, or is it just sort of throw as many as are relevant in there?
Yeah, it does on TikTok. On TikTok, it doesn't really matter. So they're so hidden within a caption, and the caption you have to click on it to open it anyway. So you can include as many as you want really in there. Some of my videos I put like 20 in, as long as they're relevant. I think that's what matters. So yeah, go wild on the hashtags.
Brilliant. Emma, Lorna was talking around follow-up marketing, so email lists, those types of things. Is that data that Amazon?
Yeah, you cannot access that data. Be very, very careful around terms of service about contacting customers that Amazon owns. So you absolutely cannot get their email address. No.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you both. Really interesting. I think one of the overall takeaways for me, amongst many, is that there's so much potential out there with these platforms, but to capture that potential and really get the most out of these platforms, they do require some thought going into them, a different strategy, a level of investment in order to get the most out of those platforms. And that's a nice segue to just say, if anyone wants to know how to do that and get more information, it all starts with a conversation with the people that know how to do these types of things. So do reach out to Emma or Rachel if you have any further questions or you want to know how to get started, and I'm sure that you would be more than happy to have a conversation around that.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron.
Thank you both. I'm going to stop the presentation now, and then I'm just going to do some admin. So thank you everyone for joining us today. Hopefully we'll see you next week.